Now what I want to do here today, we're working up on the track bike project. I want to show some of the tips, some of the tricks that I've found in getting a nice tape release line. Now there's just some things that, let me just get this. I've experimented with every kind of tape, fine line, the blue line, the green line, whatever. When you have a nice straight line like this, it's nice to use fine line tape. If you have a curved line, I get better luck with this tape. It's the green 3M tape. Now, there's a couple of do's and don'ts. One of the do's and don'ts on this is I never like to leave the tape on any longer than necessary. If I put the tape on, I like to, at some point in that day, spray it and let it dry overnight in the case of urethane, and then take the tape off. Now a lot of times, if you're dealing with soft paint, wet paint, paint that dried in cold weather, any kind of combination of things, what happens is the tape has a tendency to pull up the paint. So to get around that, one of the things is our good old, and you can tell this is an old hairdryer. Take a close look at this hairdryer. This thing has seen the wars. I love old tools. And what I always want to do is, if I'm going to take this, I've already pulled off all the tin foil and all the soft masking tape. And by the way, this is we got this, Glenn got this from Harbor Freight. It's a painter's tape that has almost no tack to it. Real nice for doing back masking. The 3M painter's tape comes in all different stickinesses. I like to use the least sticky because I don't like risking pulling up the paint. Once you pull up the paint, you've got a major work on your hands. But the things to never do, absolutely never do, because I've done it, how do I know, right? Is like take this, paint it, mask it off, paint it, put it in a cold garage where it's 30, 20 degrees, let it sit overnight. That tape almost guaranteed will pull up the paint. Warm tape releases nice and easy, cold tape bites. So the first thing I like to do, just take the hairdryer, warm the area. Now what I did to stack the deck in my favor, I put this under a heating vent overnight so it would warm it up. I did the green painting yesterday, so the green is basically, 15, 20 hours old, maybe a little more. Once that's pre-warmed, then I want to get a brand new razor, pick up a tape edge, pick up a corner. Now, here's what I found gives me the best tape line, that razor edge, I call it the razor edge, is if you could pull this basically straight back. If you pull it off on an angle, it tends to twist it. Teach Chip Foose this, by the way. So anyway, you want to pull this pretty much straight back, no matter what you're painting. Keep it warm. In fact, in an extreme case, you could just run this right down. Now, in a complex paint job like this, we use several rolls of tape, of course, and I've never found any real secret other than using the heat. Get that to come back down. Try to get as much of the tape edge off with your bare hand. Now if it's an extreme edge, and this isn't, but if I feel that this is really extreme, an example is if you're painting a pearl color or a candy apple color, that edge will be really thick. So what I would do then is take an ordinary credit card and card it on a 45-degree angle both ways. That gets rid of a lot of the edge. Never ever sand it. If you sand it, especially if you have a white pinstripe. Now, a job like this, the white pinstripe being crystal clear white, is one of the features that I want to have. I don't want to have a yellow or a distorted white. The white is what's going to make this paint job jump out, I hope, or jump off a cliff, one or the other. Now I go back far enough into the painting time. We used to have to cut our own masking tape, lay it out on a piece of glass, and using a razor and a ruler cut 1/8 inch strips. for custom sizes. Don't have to do that anymore. And by the way, the modern tape is just wonderful. It makes doing a job like this so much easier than back in the USSR or back wherever we were. And I try to use a really brand new razor to pick up the corner. Once I get it started, I want to keep that area warm. Warm is your friend. If you live in California, you never have to worry. It's always warm, you know, Florida or something. But around here, you never know when a polar bear is going to just walk into the shop. Or whatever. Now, I just wanted to show, again, what I'm going to try to do is do some little tips that I found, because I have several friends that are in the process of trying to learn the black art of painting, and I think this will help them. And if it doesn't, you know, let's face it, didn't cost any of us a penny. Didn't even cost us a pizza. Now, these chunks that fall off, not a problem. I always want to get that razor off the table because I've done this and okay, I want to just feel that edge. This one is really crisp and clean, real nice. But never ever sand it. If you sand it, you're dead. This one will not need a credit card, but when we get to we'll get one of the thicker edges somewhere in the project. I think out on the YouTube stuff, there's already some of the credit card ones that we did with photo shows and stuff. But very soon, I hope we're going to be able to really upgrade our YouTube stuff, because Najat has been working with me with a really sophisticated program. But all beside the point. It isn't the video, it's the tips you can pick up from it. Now, if you look at this, and I just wanted to show this from every angle, this was a really old tank. This had, I can't even know how many coats of paint and primer and Bondo and bodywork. And now I'm really, really lucky that the bodywork that was done before I did it and the bodywork I did seemed like this is going to be a really nice tank. And when it's this shape, now I designed this paint job to kind of accent the flow of the bike. Not sure if anybody likes it. We still have the decals coming, and we'll do a little bit of some video on installing the decals, I hope later on in the week when they get here. But now, if you just, the part of this that I think is important is, first you have to envision what you want the paint job to look like. That's in the eye of the beholder. You've got to make color choices. Najat is basically doing this right now, picking color choices for his Ducati. You then can lay it out with a sketch pad, or in my case, I just lay it out full size. It's in my mind's eye most of the time. That one I think is going to be a really nice tank when it's got all the clear and all the decals and everything on it. Now, just the other day we did some buffing on the little videos that I send out, which are all free. Don't you wish everything in life was free? This is pretty cool. I wanted to show this if I can. Again, just do a little walk around the tank. Because there are a lot of people, a lot of friends that, well, I know Glenn for one, and I know the late Larry DeTuri was really excited about doing some paint work on his own bike. I know Luciano does a lot of work on his stuff. A couple of the things that have come out of this, I was originally going to try to take this down and polish it, and then I said, it's a casting, so it's not going to polish up nice. This little piece here, now, this goes over. I wanted to show this too. This goes over here, and I guess when they made this bike, you're supposed to put your change for the bridge or something in there, but I didn't like this. So what I'm doing, I laid up a piece of carbon fiber last night, and I'm going to basically make that piece out of carbon fiber, and then see if I want to snap it on or do some way of attaching it. I wanted to show this too. The headlight on this has a layer of fiberglass and then the paint, and that buffed up real nice yesterday. The decals that John Pothia worked up, that's ready to buff out actually today or tomorrow. The fender has a major repair on it that we did. Somewhere in there there's a major repair, I know. Down there, that's all repaired. But the point is, when you're done with these things, and you're all done, they look brand new. They actually look better than new. I was happy to see that Luciano liked the seat, because he's usually the one that does movie reviews of my stuff. He's not always happy. But anyway, we did this windshield that we don't have it finished yet. It's got to be buffed out. The back is all back mess, so you don't see the glass. But if you run your finger over the glass in the paint, you can't even feel a joint. I'm going to try to get some chrome screws or something nice for that. We made the little, I'm just doing a little update on every other day or so here. The little part that goes around the key with the little logos on it. John Pothia made up those logos. These parts, now you can see this is a part that's going to need some work. This part has a lot of little imperfections in it because it's plastic. And anytime you paint something plastic, you never know if you're going to get fish eyes, contamination, something in there is not nice. I also thought maybe covering these with carbon fiber or just eliminating them. We'll find that out. See the little part that goes behind the fairing, the little bar ends, and all these are for is, I guess, if you crash the bike, which I hope we're never going to do, or to get rid of some of the resonant vibration at high speed. But anyway, by sharing some of these things, here's the part that goes under the fairing, the part that goes, the fork brace, and the parts we did the other day, which these buffed up really. I gotta tell you, these really are nice. But you never know. And anyway, this is our custom embroidery that we did. Some of the other things we're going to be doing in the shop. We got the baby's giant. What I do is now, he's at the point, at the end of every day, he puts his toys away. We're trying to teach him that. I made him a little thing for his racetrack last night. He was here. And what I try to do then, at the end of the day, I like to lay out the parts, again, under a fluorescent light, not an incandescent light. And see, what I even have is, I even have fluorescent lights up in the lights that normally would have incandescent lights, because that helps me find the mistakes in the paintwork. That's the whole objective here, is to find the mistakes now as we're buffing the parts out. And once those parts are buffed out and you take them out in the sun, they should be really, really, really nice. And again, here's the thing with the tank and being able to pull off the tape. Now, it's raining like crazy out there now, so I'm just going to put this aside. But what I always like to do is get one thin coat of clear on everything before I put the decals on. And I'll do that probably tomorrow or the next day. Once that has the clear on, we'll get the decals on and then go through our process of putting on a lot of coats of clear, probably 3-4 coats of clear, wet sanded between coats, and then in the very end we'll buff it out. The fender's ready to buff out. May get to do that today. This we spent a lot of time making those decals and logos. John did a wonderful job with making those logos. I really am happy with the way that logos were worked out. And the headlight, once it's all put together, I think it's going to have a really, really nice, unique look. And this will add just one little touch that normally this bike wouldn't have. But I hope you enjoy seeing the progress we make on this, kind of on a every other day or so basis.